Well,
Oh,
welcome to this edition of the Pulse of Spokane. And as you can see on the screen, we have Lance Kissler. And we're going to talk to him a minute because he's one of several people, unfortunately, that I know that have had COVID. And he's on the mend. Well, he might still have mental issues, but that's a long story anyway. Um, and we're going to talk about what he's gone through and how it kind of started out in the first few days. We were talking back and forth and how it affected him and so forth, and what he's been doing to kind of solve the problem. So we'll be back with Lance right after this.
What a great time of year. It's the season of savings at Wendell Ford with our year-end sales event. The 2021s like this flashy new Explorer are here, and there's more on the way. The 2020s need to go. Hear about this month's great offers from our amazing team.
Hi, I'm Patrick. Come see me this month for huge factory incentives, including 0% for 60 months on Escape, Expedition, Explorer, and more. Also, clearance savings on hundreds of new and used vehicles. Hope to see you soon.
Happy holidays. Come see us at Wendell at the Y or Wendell.com.
hi, Larry Myers again at River Ridge Hardware. Back in our garden center. It's changed a little bit. We have lots of greenery though. We have Christmas trees at $39.99. We have pretty much everything you'd ever want in Christmas. The icicle lights from white to straight blue to multicolor. I have these cute little shelf snowmen. One of the cool things that we have at River Ridge Hardware, which maybe one other in the United States, is a full custom picture framing shop and all kinds of Christmas decor that you can decorate your tree. Go on our website at riverridgehardware.com. Feel free to call us at 509-328-0915. We're still offering curbside delivery and delivery outside the neighborhood within a 5-mile radius with just a purchase of $25 or more. So let us help you in this shopping time. Shop local, shop often, and have a Merry Christmas.
Well, you have no idea what it's like to have my tech operators in here because we've made some changes today on my IFB, which is something that I can listen to the program and especially hear Lance. It kind of works. I'm not very good at lip reading, okay? And they're giving me and they're telling me all this and I can't hear because this is so loud that even almost when they yell. Anyway, Lance, good to have you. How are you?
Oh, I'm glad to hear that they're taking steps to help you listen better.
Yeah. You've been wanting to tell me some things for a long time, haven't you?
Yeah, we'll talk about the whole mental piece later on because, it takes
well,
one.
I don't know if we'll have that
right?
much time, especially if you're going to talk about me, okay?
Right.
Hey, I remember, I'm going to say it was about 2 weeks ago, but it might have been longer than that or even shorter than that I remember seeing the story. I believe you posted the story on Facebook about coming down with COVID. And to that point, had you known anyone that had it, that was going through what you were going to eventually go through?
Great. Great question. So timing wise, it was the weekend right after Veterans Day when I started experiencing.
Was it that long ago? Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing how fast time flies.
And then Thanksgiving came, and yeah.
So I had seen. I didn't know anyone kind of really firsthand who had it, other than there were some folks on Facebook who were among my acquaintances and such. And there was one family who was struggling with it from back home in Odessa. Knew them from growing up in Odessa, and her husband was in ICU and battling COVID and fortunately, from what I last saw, seemed to be moving towards recovery, but they were really concerned there for a period of time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
most of what I had seen regarding COVID cases was all kind of secondhand,
Yeah.
you know,
Like most of us. Really,
like most of
us. We knew somebody that knew somebody, or it was a friend of ours' wife or something like that. But
Well, and I think a part of that is, I decided to share my positive diagnosis and my experience publicly on Facebook because I felt that it would help others understand what it's like, as well as maybe also encourage them to be okay with sharing that you shouldn't feel guilty if you get. And I think there might be some stigma attached to, oh, you got COVID. Well, what did you do wrong? You weren't following precautions. You're a bad person.
No, and some of the best prevention things that people have done hasn't prevented it at times. So it's no one's fault. It's just is out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's, I will admit that I probably could have taken better measures than what I did, better precaution. But we're talking about a virus that we're still learning more about, and it's tricky. And I think from my experience, one of the areas where we probably as a society weren't paying as close attention to was our close contacts among our friends. I feel like we felt like, oh, if I see this group of friends and then I see this group of friends,
we're safe.
I'm safe. I'm among a few amount of people, 5 or less. And, we don't really need to wear masks if we're less than, a few people. But what you're not thinking about is you're moving from one group of people to another group of people and to another. And so while in terms of my case, anyone who I was in close contact with prior to testing positive and developing the symptoms shortly before that, all of those people tested negative. I actually think that, so I think that for me, my instance, which everyone's going to have different, scenarios and different symptoms as well. I think it may have happened when I went out shopping that Wednesday of Veterans Day. I went out to do a little bit of, finally kind of get out and support local business and so on. Not that I'm not, blaming
for all the right
local
reasons.
business.
Yeah.
But for all the right reasons, to try to get out and be social and support the community and purchase some things that I needed to. Timing wise, in terms of folks who I had been around who tested negative and then the onset of my symptoms, that seems to be about the time period of when I may have contracted it. But at this point, don't know 100%. So
yeah, no, and there's no way to positively know for sure anyway. Okay, so how did you really start to realize that I assume you just weren't feeling well and something clicked up here and said, I better check just to probably with the mindset to rule out COVID.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So Saturday, that Saturday after Veterans Day, I started to notice a little kind of tickle in the back of the throat, that feeling like you got something stuck there. And so you need to, kind of clear your throat or cough it out. And to me, I thought, well, maybe it's just allergies or could be something, could be anything at this point. Right. So Sunday morning when I woke up, I had my body was aching and I just felt a bit tired. I could feel that what was going on in the back of my throat was more pronounced and that I actually needed to cough. And so Sunday was kind of that point of, okay, I'm not feeling good, but I don't know what this is yet. So I contacted my coworkers and said, I think I'm going to stay home Monday. And many of us are working remotely as it is, but some of us have been going in and out and trying to mitigate potential exposure to one another. So I told them I'm just going to stay home and rest because I definitely have something coming on. I just don't know what it is.
Right.
So Monday morning when I woke up, that's when as I explained to people, it's like I got hit by a freight train or that I was that I just ran a marathon that I hadn't trained for, and that I just participated in a chess tournament that I was not qualified for. So
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I felt exhausted. I felt physically and mentally. That's why I refer to the chess game.
Okay. Yes.
It was difficult to focus, trying to piece together cognitive sentences and really communicate effectively. I found that difficult to do, which,
And
some
you're
people
a
might say,
communicator. So, I
right?
mean, that's a big sign, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. So to me, that was this point of, oh gosh, there's something different here. And then partway through the day, I noticed. So I lit a candle because I'm like, I'm going to be at home, and so I'm just going to rest, and so I'm just going to light a candle and kind of create a little bit of nice smell and ambiance. And all of a sudden, I realized I'm not smelling this candle. Well, it's a ways across the room, so maybe I'll go, move it closer. Maybe it's just not,
Right.
And then that's when it hit me that, okay, I've got body aches, I'm fatigued, I'm coughing a bit, I've got congestion, I can't smell, and I've got this cloudy, fuzzy brain. This sounds like this could be COVID.
Yeah.
So I, I have, through my insurance provider, they have online visits that you can do right from your app on your phone. And so I did an e-visit and filled out answered the questions, and they said, well, based upon your responses, you might have COVID. Can you one of these testing sites? And I said, yep. And so first thing Tuesday morning, went down to the drop-in COVID testing site. And I will say, I know that when early on we saw, pictures and videos of people getting the nasal swabs done, right. People joked about it going in and hitting your brain. It was quick. It was painless. Yeah, it was uncomfortable. I mean, you're sticking something up there, but it hurt.
I would have been glad to come down and help do it to you.
Right. I'm sure you would have been very thorough indeed. But it only took, the whole thing only took about a minute or two. And then I got my results. It was, I think, about 2 days later. But of course, as soon as you have any kind of symptoms like that, you should immediately just self-isolate. Go home. It's worth it, because the last thing you want to do is know that you've passed it on to someone, and God forbid that you pass it on to someone doesn't come through it as myself or others, right?
Right.
So
you went home from the testing and knew you probably were going to come positive, didn't you?
Yeah, for me, it was the combination of the fatigue, the body aches, and the and when I say body aches, I mean just my whole body felt like it had been ran over. And then the loss of sense of smell. I didn't lose my sense of taste, but obviously your olfactory impacts your sense of taste, and so I did notice a little change in that. But it was definitely my sense of smell, and the combination of those three things tipped me off that, this is probably COVID, because I've never experienced those kind of symptoms before. Now I know I have had some similar experiences with like sinus infections or other things. But I've never had a sinus infection, so knock on wood.
So you're home for a few days now. What does that require you to stay home and isolate for 14 days, basically 10 to 14 days?
Yeah, 10 to 14 days. From what I understand, they've moved it more towards 10 days from.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, from when either your symptoms onset or when your fever, when you last had a fever. The fever is kind of one of the big indicators. Okay. I never had a fever, though. That's one of the interesting things. At least not that I was aware of. Maybe, I was just a little bit above, normal temperature and just didn't notice it. But I never, was laying on the couch going, oh, gosh.
Well, yeah, I've heard people of 103, 104, and so forth. So you didn't have that. So, yeah.
Right.
Well,
not too bad.
I want to talk a little bit about what else you've done and so forth, but let us take a quick commercial
Sure.
break, and then we'll come back and want to know, since that incubation time period and so forth, how things have improved, and you were set up for good to work at home. Although my guess is you probably did not work much the first few days, for sure, right? So let's take a break and what people can expect if they follow your schedule, if they have to get it, and let's hope that no one gets it. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Lance Kissler from EWU, and everybody knows Lance in town right after this.
We believe every person is created in the image of God with immeasurable beauty and worth, that people should not be defined by their present condition or past mistakes. We are all broken. We need each other. Healing for our brokenness begins with connection, with understanding how much we are loved by a good God. And with healing comes change, the potential for joy and meaning. No one was created for mere survival on the streets, for an existence blurred by mind-numbing substances. Each person is created with a purpose, a unique gift no one else can offer the world. Our job is to help them rediscover it. Real people, real change. Union Gospel Mission.
Merry Christmas from River Ridge Hardware.
Well, welcome back. Lance Kissler is my guest, and for the next minute or two, let's talk about. Okay, you knew you had it. You knew internally you had it, but you got the call. You're staying home. I remember my leaving you alone for a week because I knew you weren't going to answer me, and you didn't need emails and things like that. I mean, you got to get well, okay? But have you been? Are you in the office now, or are you home?
Yes. Yeah, I'm in the office. So once I got the confirmation, I immediately let everyone know, here's the situation. Yeah. I'm going to be taking sick leave. We actually qualify for some federal COVID sick leave that's been authorized for state agencies and such. Okay. So that's good. So I qualified for up to 80 hours of sick leave. I ended up using only about 70, or I think I didn't use all 10 days. I think I used 8 days, for example. Yeah. So it happened leading up to Thanksgiving. So I took all the time off from that Monday after Veterans Day to the Wednesday right before Thanksgiving, and then we had Thanksgiving off, and then we also get the Friday after Thanksgiving off.
Right. So, like so many people do. So good.
Right. So I basically had 2 full weeks that I was out of the office, not working. And I told everyone it did. And I actually, I'll admit that more oftentimes than not, even when I end up getting sick and I'm at home, I'll still pop on and do a little bit of work, right? Yeah. Many of us probably do that. Yeah. I gave myself permission, and of course, I've always had permission from my colleagues and the workplace, but to say, I'm not going to be checking in. I don't know where this is going to go. Right. And so I need to rest and disconnect.
Absolutely.
So it was great to hear. I do appreciate folks reached out via text and Facebook.
Someone sent you a Thanksgiving dinner.
My coworkers pulled together. So that was part of the other thing is, once you find out that you need to isolate, it's figuring out what's your plan going to be around, getting groceries or food. Yeah. any of those kind of essentials, I didn't need to go stock up on huge packages of toilet paper, but
I was going to bring that up, but okay.
Right. Yeah. I had plenty. So I was lucky that I had. Oh, my lights went out in my office.
You got to move around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to.
Yeah.
Do some exercise. So I was lucky I had friends and coworkers and such who said, okay, can I drop something off at your house? Do the whole contactless delivery.
Yeah.
I used Uber Eats and the delivery services on occasion to get some stuff from local restaurants when I was actually feeling, like, gosh, I want something other than chicken noodle soup.
Yeah.
So,
well,
yeah.
It was. And I kept asking you if you needed something, but I was pleased to see that people were dropping by things and so forth, and I think all of us, of course, would do that for you and so forth. How are you feeling now?
So it was a good week and a half that I was, as I say, knocked off my feet. Right. And right around Thanksgiving, I got my sense of taste, or my sense of smell back.
Right.
And I noticed that the symptoms were marked, had marked improvement, but I still was fighting a lot of fatigue. I had what I call, COVID brain or foggy brain, that continuation of just feeling like not all your synapses are firing. And in particular, when I would be having conversations with people, or if I would be writing an email, I'd be reaching for a word or two, and it was out of grasp. I couldn't reach it.
Now you know what it's like to be 74 and a half, buddy.
Well,
okay.
And some people said, you might just be getting older, Lance. And I said, well, I don't know if it onsets quite like this, but anyway, so since then, I've been telling people that probably feeling around 90 to 95% now. There are still some. In fact, yesterday afternoon, all of a sudden the fatigue just hit in kind of mid-noon, and I felt like, gosh, I would love to just go take a nap.
And did you?
And so, and I did take a short nap.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. You've got to take care of yourself. Honestly.
Right. And that was first week, returning to work, quote unquote. I actually eased back in. I took a little bit of, kind of worked some half days. I continued to work from home for the most part, and then eventually felt more comfortable coming back into the office and being more engaged.
Well, good to have you back. Good to see you in the office. I'm sure your colleagues are saying the same thing. And are you going to get some good time off at Christmas and holidays for the 2 weeks? Will you be taking some time?
I'll be taking a little bit here and there. I've got some team members who are taking some much needed time off. So I'm going to play cover for a lot of them, and so that they can go enjoy time with their family and friends.
Good. Well, number one, get well completely. We want you back at 100%. Yeah, we do. I'm kidding. Yeah. And good to see you again. You look different. Okay. Do I need to buy you? Do I need to buy you a razor for Christmas?
Well, it's I can hide it under a mask. So this is and then reveal it and see how
I wasn't as sure because of the screen and so forth if you were wearing a mask, but then I saw the lips in the teeth and I'm going, no, he's not. I don't think so. So
Yep, I've got my Eastern mask right here. So.
Yeah. Well, get to 100%, will you? Okay, because I want to be able to give you 100% bad time all the time. And right now, if you're only at 90, 95, I feel like I have to hold it back a little bit. And you know me well enough. Okay, I want to respect, how you're feeling. I know you're so forth. Merry Christmas to you and to your dad and to the others and so forth there at Eastern. And have a good day. And we'll probably be talking to you in, can you say this out loud now? 2021. Are we ready for 21?
I think so. I think many of us are ready for what's around the corner. Right.
I was writing something and putting next year on it, and I'm going, oh, that feels good. Even if it's not here, and even if it isn't 100% better, psychologically, it's going to be better, I think, for sure. So,
Yeah,
Lance,
I
good to
think
see
so.
you. Okay, take care.
Good to see you too. Thanks.
All right. And thank you for watching the Pulse of Spokane. I hope you learned something, and that's to be careful, and sometimes even as careful as we are, and Lance certainly was, it still can get us, okay? And it can get some pretty prominent people in town, and it can get some of our family as well and close friends. So be careful over the holidays. Thanks for watching the Pulse of Spokane, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Ask the host a question, recommend a guest, or check out any of our other programs on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or SpokaneTalksMedia.com. Sponsored by Local 29 Firefighters Union, Well Dressed Walrus, and Homes for You.